G'day. Nice, cool, clear morning. Beau come up for a visit. First time he's been up since he came off second best in a kickboxing match with a boar a few months ago.
Everybody does say this, but I'm not dead and the pig's dead.
He is. Show us the scar, mate. Check that out. What a beauty. All right.
Too early in the morning to stand on one leg.
Yeah, well, because he's so good at it, he's not allowed to carry a gun or a knife this trip. He's just got to kickbox them to death.
I was actually going to prefer the old karate chop.
A judo chop. So we've got a big selection of idiot dogs. That one. Mia the cat.
Number one.
Yeah, bloody small black and pointies, a selection of. And 2 cattle dogs, plus a few other hangers on. So we're going to go and check out a couple of little swamps and a little water course that should be free of crocodiles. And yeah, see what we can't scare up.
Morning it over everybody.
Yeah. Floodgate there. That's all extensive. It's a pretty good time of day to go and catch a bloody pig wallowing down at this swamp, eh? No, did you, Mia?
270.
Yep. They're going straight out the back. Yeah, this is all water chestnut in here, which is just crack for pigs, you know. They love it. That is fresh. That's still wet. Look at that. So we've got Mia and Digit out about 400 now.
400?
Yeah. And they're probably following whatever did this. Look at that fresh tusk in there too. That's a boar. See there? Definitely no shortage of bloody activity through here. Hit that swamp. Digit and Mia took off on a line, and Digit came back, but Mia's about 700 metres away and treed, so it's a fair way to go. A mark of a good boar just here. There's one around. Let him work it. You can smell the boar there? No. Just coming through there. Oh, gotcha. Well, they haven't grabbed hold yet. It's probably a good pig. He's a good pig. Right. Here. Good dogs, good dogs. Good dogs. He is an absolute honker, Beau. Look at the jaw on him. What an absolute beauty. Good dogs. Good dogs. You can't ask for much better hooks than that up here. They're absolute stonkers. Good dogs. So that was the Mia show, that one. That was a long find and a bloody good bail by Mia. And then, yeah, it was good to have that pack of fresh legs, eh? Yeah.
There was no way you could get anywhere.
No. Good boy, Spikey. This bloke here was making sure that boar was sitting down and sitting down hard. Oh, he's a big bugger. Got him. Nice. Bit of a gonna be a bit of an act to carry him out, this bloke. What do we got, about a K to walk, eh?
To the car, yeah. Yep.
Yep.
You're right.
So it's got to about 10 o'clock and we've decided we'll call it a day there. The dogs are all starting to get a little bit warm. Save their energy for the afternoon. Go out again and have another look. One good boar for the morning is pretty good anyway, eh? No need to be greedy. What do you reckon?
Pretty good ball. Pretty good bloody hooks on him.
Yeah.
So we headed for camp, stopping along the way to catch a small sow that was found at about 700 metres from Digit, and decided to cut up some meat for our dinner that night.
We didn't bring much food with us, so we're going to take a bit of meat off him and have a nice camp oven roast over the fire. So the piece I love best for roasting, especially slowly, is the neck, or the butt if you're in America, or if you're an Italian they call it the copper. It's basically the top end of the back steak, really. It's sort of not the same muscle exactly, but it just runs down this side of the spine between his neck and the back of his shoulder. So often you just knock the whole side off the pig there and take it out like that, but I'm just going to be a bit rough. Just run the knife straight down his spine like so. Like that. And come around. Now the copper traditionally is about 7 ribs up, 6 or 7 ribs up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you know, you sort of come in here more or less. Trying to avoid the bloody stick that you've jammed in there. Alright, once you got through that bit of cartilage there, sort of follow the rib around, more or less. Cut right through it against the spine there. Now you can then run your knife along the ribs, just separating the whole shoulder more or less. I mean, you can do this without taking the whole shoulder blade off as well, but I want to cut up a bit more meat for the dogs at the same time, so taking the whole thing off. Any professional butchers watching this will just have to forgive me. I'm sorry. I'm butcher by reputation, not trade. So you want to try and keep as much of the meat that's close to the spine as possible, because that's the magic stuff. So when the Italians talk about the copper, they often talk about the snake skin, and that's what you're looking for there. So especially on domestic pork, or particularly fat wild pork, there's some cut of meat is absolutely loaded with intramuscular fat, a lot of marbling, which makes it really good for slow cooking applications. So this is a little bit more of a black art here, separating the piece you want from everything surrounding. But more or less shave it off the top of the shoulder blade like that, and that's the piece you're after. So then from there, you can sort of trim it up and make it a slightly nicer shape if you're being particularly fancy about it. But for our purposes, probably just whack it off there because we don't need all that much meat. We'll go and get that piece there in a rub, and yeah, let him bloody sit for a couple of hours, and then get him in the camp oven, cook him up. See a little bit of bruising there. I think that must be where the bullet grazed through there. I did shoot him in the neck, so yeah. Anyway, good stuff. See how it tastes. Boary.
So we took that lovely cut of wild pork and we got him into one of my homemade spice rubs. We let that sit there and marinate for a few hours while the fire died down to a good bed of coals for cooking. And the meat went into the camp oven went onto the fire, and we sat back and just relaxed for the evening as the meat slowly cooked.
Have a go at this bloody pork roast, mate.
Yeah, look right.
Oh, you just couldn't ask for that to be more perfect. It's got a beautiful bark on the outside, like a nice crust from the rub and the marinade, and the interior's just cooked perfectly. It's just falling apart. It's going to be delicious. That's about everything you could hope for in a camp oven roast, that one. It's going to be superb. Oh, look at that. How good is that? How good is that? There's some bloody barbecue buffs out there will be bloody cracking a fat by now watching this.
So the gut's full of wild pork, we hit the sack. We got up early the next morning and back into it. We're driving down the track on the way to a creek we planned to walk down, when all the dogs peeled off the ute at speed, straight through the fence, and went 200 metres and caught a boar. Now, because I'm a bit of an amateur, I've managed to bugger up the filming of this, so if you want to see the action, head across to Beau's, BoarsNBarra.
It's a nice quick find, easy find from the dogs. They jumped a bit earlier. He'd probably come up from the river from a couple of wallows there, gone across the track, through the bush on the other side, back across the track here, and they'd been digging up a bit of this nice cool sand, obviously looking for a few invertebrates and things like that. And yeah, the dogs hit him after about 200 metres. Really keen jump off the ute. They just flew in here and he didn't go anywhere. That was the end of him. Yeah, in this country with these dogs, this boar had no hope. He wasn't getting away. They all would have hit him as a mob, and he, yeah.
Time he knew what was going on, it was all over.
And that's it.
The open country, just a foot race.
Yeah, and he's not going to win that foot race with 6 fast little bailing dogs, that's for sure.
By the time he turns around, is
someone else on
someone
his
needs
back
bum. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very good start. Very good start. Nice and close to the ute too. I like those ones.
Not wrong.
So because we've got a bit more hunting to do, and want to keep this pig in relatively good condition for the next couple of hours while we're out, I'm going to do a little trick that I do to try and keep them a bit fresh. If you can hang them up, it's always best. Let them drain. Little bloody sturdy stick poking out like that. That might do the trick. Might be strong enough.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah, and so let's poke a couple of holes through his hocks there, get another sturdy stick in, and you just like so. And if that holds, that'll be good. That'll hang up and be nice and cool by the time we come back for him. So just make doubly sure I've cut his throat out, because you don't want blood pooling in the bottom. It goes off really quickly. But you'd be surprised how how well this preserves them, especially if you can face his gut cavity into the breeze.
With that little job done, we continued to our objective, which was this little creek. There was plenty of sign up and down it, but none of it was red hot, none of it fresh, and it took us all the way down to the main river. We decided to go across the river and have a poke about on the other side there, and eventually we did get onto a little mob with digits finding them first. Got 3 little pigs out of that mob. We called it a weekend. Beau took off home and I decided to go out one last time.
It's been a weekend for the bailers, so they're all buggered. I'm going to take the big fella out by himself, see if we can't get a repeat of a couple of weeks ago when he caught his first one out. Good boar. Hey, he's a keen dog, this one. A good fella. What do you reckon? Hey, you gonna get one? We'll have a look, eh? Just come across this little creek crossing. Beau left about 2-3 hours ago, heading home. I brought Beau out for a bit of a solo run, and just coming onto the creek crossing, there's fresh pig prints right across Beau's vehicle prints, which is interesting. Not big ones, only a very small pig, but at this point for Beau, a pig's a pig, and that's it. He's got it. Didn't take him long.
So I suspected it was by no means a big pig, but hey, a pig's a pig, and it was good to get Beau just a little bit of work. So I quickly dispatched that, kept on going. Well, after that there was pork running all around the countryside, with bacon seedlings and their mums. But eventually we had to call it a day, so I headed back to camp and started packing the ute, getting ready to head back to the mountains to catch up with my old mate Charlie, who said there's been a boar hanging around in the rainforest close to his place. But I think that'll have to be another video, so keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.
Sun is streaming across the flashing windscreen. One eye's closed, the other sleeping.